without further ado, Chen, who will be doing the production of Tristen.
Hello everybody, great to see you. We have a very special program today, and it's my privilege and pleasure to introduce Chen. He's a 16-year-old pianist, very gifted, and he can do any voice imitations. And he's humorous, he's compassionate, loves fun, he loves roller coaster, he loves motion, but he has a very sensitive heart, and I think he really, music is his life, and he expresses all his emotions through music, and I think today we're in a treat to hear him present his program for us. So here we welcome Tristen Chen.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tristen Chen. I feel so blessed to play for such a wonderful audience. Today's program is titled Music and Emotion, how we communicate through music. It'll display how we connect to one another through music. A popular composer in the 1800s named Felix Mendelssohn stated that music is more specific than words, and we will prove his claim to be valid in this program. Let's get the program started. Okay, so the first piece on the program is Johann Sebastian Bach's first Prelude and Fugue from his second book of Well-Tempered Clavier Preludes and Fugues. Now, the big emotion in this piece is positivity. The beginning and ending of the prelude contains a sustained left-hand C, which sounds like this. And the right hand is sparkling on top with beautiful lines. If you've ever been to a church service, you've probably heard an organist play. They would hold a bass note with their foot, and with their hands they would sparkle with a beautiful line on top. The fugue is even more exciting. It just adds that excitement with this beautiful subject. It definitely brings us a sense of excitement and readiness. The end of the fugue is even more adventurous, as it has an unsustained C in the left hand that continues to repeat, which brings us a sense of adventure. So with that, here's Bach's first Prelude and Fugue in the key of C major from his Well-Tempered Clavier, Book 2. pianists do this, but this is a pretty big jump we're going to make. Usually pianists go in chronological order from Baroque to Classical, Romantic, so on and so on. We are going to jump straight from Baroque to contemporary. Why? Because Bach made a major influence on other composers to compose their own preludes, or in this case, preludes and fugues. So, let's travel time. We are now in the 1950s. We've traveled just about 200 or so years. We are in the period of the next composer, Dmitri Shostakovich, who composed his preludes and fugues in all 24 keys, 24 preludes and fugues, just like Bach. Now, I'll be performing the second of his preludes and fugues. The prelude gives us a sense of tranquility. It flows throughout the piece like a stream. It's just peace throughout. And you want to pay attention to the climax of the prelude because you'll hear these church bells that go like... And it brings a sense of peace, tranquility, and so much more. The fugue, however, is definitely something intense. First of all, I think Shostakovich might have sampled Bach. Take a listen to the subject of the fugue versus the subject of the prelude you just heard. The Bach prelude, the fugue subject. Now you may be asking, Tristen, I cannot tell the difference. How? Well, both of them have a 3 notes up, a skip down, a skip up. Shostakovich just added in another 3 notes, a skip down, a skip up, and a skip down. Both of them have. So that's how they're similar. But the intensity of the fugue continues. At the end, you can hear this soldier marching sort of motion in the left hand. It sounds like soldiers are getting closer to you. Maybe they're mad at Shosti for sampling Bach or something. But we never know. Who knows where they're marching? With that, here's Shosti's Prelude and Fugue number 2 in the key of A minor. Dmitri Shostakovich. Now we're going to go back and fill in those gaps between that huge chunk of time that we traveled. So let's go back. All right, we're back in the late 1700s with our next composer, Ludwig van Beethoven. I am sure we all know his story. This piece I'm about to play was composed in his younger days, his third piano sonata in the key of C major, Opus 2, number 3. This piece was actually one of the 3 sonatas he dedicated to his teacher at the time, Franz Joseph Haydn. I know, it's pretty interesting, eh? Composer studies with composer. So, you can definitely sense Beethoven's youthful energy in this sonata. He brings us on a sense of adventure. He takes us on a great adventure around a whole bunch of different things. The exposition, the beginning part, represents all of our themes. It introduces us to our themes that we'll encounter throughout the adventure. The development is a whirlwind of confusion, a little worry, concern, fear, panic, you name it. The recap returns us back onto the normal tracks. But whoops, you want to hold on tight because Beethoven does have quite a bit of surprising twists and turns. So with that, hold on tight, buckle up, sit back, relax, and enjoy your ride as we cruise through Beethoven's third piano sonata. a little bit of time. Now we're headed into the Romantic period with our next composer, Frédéric Chopin. I'm sure we are all aware of Frédéric Chopin's great expression in his music. I'll be performing two of his nocturnes, Opus 27, number 1 and 2, which Chopin intentionally wrote to be played back to back, non-stop, which is exactly what I'll do. Let's create a story. I'm going to need your participation in this section, so feel free to speak up, but it's important to notice that a nocturne is a night piece, taking place in the night. Now, let's create a character. What genre do you think this character will be? Anybody? What? Like a girl? Or? Oh, what? I don't think so. What else? Anybody else?
Girl.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that sounds about right. Now, how old would this young lady be? Yeah! You read my mind! Okay. So far, we got a 16-year-old girl in the night. Let's say maybe in her dream. Okay, she's in a dream. It's late at night. Let's say they're just walking back from work, because I don't think any schools would be in session in the late nights. But she is joined later by a special guest. Perhaps a sibling or a friend? Well, let's find out. That might be. Anybody? Older brother, older sister, girlfriend, boyfriend? Who could it be?
My older sister.
You read my mind! Okay, let's say she's 18. Okay. Then the B section, the two of them encounter a storm. Ouch! It hits them hard, but don't worry, ladies, there is hope. After the hopeful bit is a little crescendo, and then they dance their way home. They do the polonaise, but then, ouch, something hits them again. But peace at last, and the sun comes up, and it immediately transfers into the next nocturne. We emerge from that nocturne of mysteriousness to a nocturne of peace. But it's also a whirlwind of emotions, this next one. There are bits of joy, pain, sorrow, victory, and peace at last. It's almost like a roller coaster of emotions in another dream of the two ladies. With that, here is Chopin's Nocturnes, Opus 27, number 1 and 2. And while I'm playing, sit back, relax, close your eyes, and just imagine the story that we all created. Wonderful participation, by the way. Thank you very much. we will fast forward just a little more time to 1907 to 1917 with his next composer, Sergei Prokofiev. He composed his third piano sonata in the key of A minor during this time, which, interestingly for you historians, 4 of those years that he composed this piece was part of World War I. World War I being from 1914 to 1919. So for a majority of World War I, he was composing this piece, and his world premiere happened in 1918. Now, this piece definitely has a very intense and firm mood to it. You'll hear this intense argument between 2 soldiers. The right hand, the left hand. You may notice my grunting because I'm trying to emphasize that this left hand is not playing on the same beat as the right hand. This creates a very argumentative, intense, disagreeing, controversy sort of interaction. Otherwise, if they were playing together, it would sound hilariously off and it would not even be close to an argument. It would just sound like a cacophony. But a majority of the piece is that and this intense, firm, clear electric sound to this piece. There are bits that sound kind of like warfare. There are bits that sound like agonizing pain. And of course, we can't forget the moments of tranquility and relaxation and peace. I guess another lesson we could take away from this program is, in the midst of chaos, there is always peace, right? Well, I hope you can take that with you the rest of your life, because that will happen. Here is Prokofiev's third piano sonata in the key of A minor, Opus 28. Before I move on to my next piece, I'd like to share my story with those of you who are new. When I was 21 months old, I lost my vision. And before then, I was way too young to remember. So, in other words, all my memories were visually in the dark. I lost my vision due to retinal detachment. But when I was 3, I received an electric keyboard as a birthday gift. I was playing everything on it. I loved it. So when I was almost 5, I was recommended a piano teacher and starting piano lessons. So that's exactly when I started. When I was about 8, I started to learn Braille music. I have a score. Way out, if you guys are curious, I can show you what it looks like. In 2018, when I was 9, I attended my first few piano competitions. They were definitely intense. But later that year, I received a case of tics. My head would continuously shake side to side, nonstop for no reason. But it subsided in 2019, so don't worry, I'm okay. In 2019, I received a new piano teacher who brought me up significantly from my previous piano teacher's level. In 2021, I went to a 4-week-long music festival known as Masterworks Festival. My first impression, not knowing it was a Christian festival, is that it was going to ruin my summer, but it turned out it made my summer 100 times better. And with that, ever since 2021, I became a Christian. In 2022, I have been collecting lots of Bible verses that I love, from Galatians 5:16 to Joshua 1:9. There are lots of Bible verses that really stood out to me, and I've collected in my mind since then. In 2024, I attended the same music festival. It was my 4th consecutive year there. I attended the concerto competition, got in the finals, surprise. But then I played my heart out for the glory of God, as he told me. And surprise again, I got to play with the orchestra, which was one of my dream come trues. Another dream come true was learning this next piece I'm about to play. This next piece, my piano teacher said, well, you need to learn La Leggerezza before I can let you play that. So I learned La Leggerezza. And now I'm playing this one. So the mood in this piece is definitely a sense of yearning. You can hear it throughout the melody. It's like someone is yearning for something. It starts out as just a simple want, but ends up as a major crescendo to a deep plead and a dream come true. At least that's what it seems. Ladies and gentlemen, Franz Liszt, Grand Etude de Paganini, S-141, number 3, La Campanella. This is, some people say it's the hardest piece in the world, but honestly, I think there are difficult things in that. One of, I think, the most difficult things is leaving this audience without crying. And another difficult thing is leaving this audience without ending on a high note. So why don't we end on a high note with What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong as an encore. I encourage you all to sing along if you know the lyrics.
There
an absolute blessing it's been to play for such a wonderful audience. I'm so blessed by your wonderful participation in not only the Chopin storytelling creation, but also in your participation in the singing. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I feel so honored and so grateful to be able to play for such a wonderful audience. And next time, if you think about anger, if you're angry next time, if you're in conflict with someone, instead of starting a verbal argument and starting a physical altercation, think again and just pick up that violin or that piano and play your frustration out. Let them understand your true anger. Whenever you're feeling sad, get that piano or that violin and sing your sad aria and let them understand how devastated, how much pain you feel. And with that, Felix Mendelssohn stating that music is more specific than words proved valid. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope this program was a blessing to you. I encourage you to buy your instrument. May you be in peace. Have a blessed Friday.